Last night, I finally got around to finishing Luigi's Mansion 3, the illustrious latest entry in the beloved Luigi's Mansion franchise. I loved the original, I loved Dark Moon, and I loved 3. Now, I don't think 3 is one of the best games on the Switch or anything like that. It kind of suffers from the same problems the other games do, in that, like, it's too short and it doesn't seem to evolve very much. I feel like going forward, they're really going to have to try to find some way to radically change the wheel, specifically with how combat works. But for the most part, I was pretty impressed. Right, I found myself really enjoying all the new areas, really impressed with the impressive visuals, and just all around enjoying myself from start to finish. It is a very brief game. I got through it in about 12 hours. It really could have been longer, I think, but whatever. It was perfectly enjoyable, and there were all these really great moments of just getting hunted down by cats, exploring ancient ruins, solving these elaborate puzzles. This game does, I think, have the best puzzle solving in the series, but it also has the worst combat. I don't know what they did, but somehow the combat in Luigi's Mansion 3 is noticeably worse than it was in Dark Moon and the original. I am going to come out here and say this right now. I am not sure whether Luigi's Mansion 3 is better than Dark Moon. Both of them are better than the original for sure, but Dark Moon and 3, although they were made by the same people, both seem to have an edge over each other. Like, they both do certain things better than the other. Like, Dark Moon has like the replayability, it has like the different areas, it has like a lot going on. The mission structure in Dark Moon allows you to go through a lot of the same rooms over and over and over again and can have a completely different experience. Meanwhile, Luigi's Mansion 3 is so linear and so flat, it almost feels like you're just going from point A to point B. And because of the combat being not as good in 3, because of like all the changes you made, you have to wiggle the stick to like get them to start sucking up. You have to like start like slamming ghosts isn't all that satisfying. There was nothing wrong with the way Luigi's Dark Moon worked. Why did they change it? And I think the AI in Dark Moon was better too for like minor enemy encounters. I think 3 has better boss fights, which is also really baffling. Like, so Dark Moon has better general combat and probably better mechanics, I would say. But then like 3 has like better level design and better bosses. It's just like I am all over the place. I have no idea what I think. I played 2 recently as well. Like last year, I think it was like around the time they announced 3 last year, I went back and replayed both the original and Dark Moon, and I liked both a lot. But one of the things I took away from Dark Moon is that like people really radically underrate that game. That game is like amazing, and yet people say 3 is like better. Now, I'm not sure which is better. To be honest with you, I like both a lot, and it feels like people overhype 3 and underrate Dark Moon, even though they're about the same in quality. I still like both a lot, but it's kind of interesting to think about these things because Dark Moon was hit really hard by the Pretendo stick. I think it sold like 5 million units, but there were still plenty of people who will tell you that like, oh, the mission select screen ruined it. It's just complete nonsense. Really, Dark Moon, Luigi's Mansion 3. Has a lot of weird problems about it. And I think one of the most pressing is that, like, the puzzles look impressive. There's a lot going on. They all have, like, different aesthetics and, like, different feat functions and stuff like that. But they usually just revolve around one thing. Like, it is amazing how often you use Luigi in this game to progress. It's kind of ridiculous how like this game is more Luigi's Mansion than Luigi's Mansion because if you run into any kind of obstacle, Luigi can fix it for you. It's ridiculous and they way overplayed their hand with this admittedly really cool and fun to use mechanic. I love Luigi. I love its like personality and just its behavior and just how you can use it and its weaknesses. It's all really well thought out, but it is an overused mechanic. It's just I think I had more fun with like what Dark Moon does with like it's interacting with the environment and stuff like that. Like Luigi's Mansion 3 feels more like it's most of it's for show and just it's a good game, but to suggest it's the all-time, better than Dark Moon, I think is kind of disrespecting the original Dark Moon, I would say. I mean, the series has made great strides. I'm very proud of it, but like this is not a really good advancement over Dark Moon, I think. The main thing I took away from it is like I like the visuals and I like the way it's presented, but other than that, and I like the environments, the game is gorgeous, but other than that, it doesn't feel like the game has evolved a lot since Dark Moon. And when it comes to the pure gameplay aspect, it feels like it's taken a lot of steps back. It's kind of weird that way, but oof. It's definitely up for debate whether Dark Moon is better than this, but I do still recommend people go out and buy this game because it's still perfectly enjoyable. The dog you have is still is like absolutely adorable. Mario, you do rescue Princess Peach in this. It's very very interesting to see just how the Luigi's Mansion series has evolved into its own thing, and I hope we can continue the streak with a Luigi's Mansion 4 sooner rather than later.